Hello, everyone. Let's start this Monday. Instead of complaining about Mondays, let's have a prayer of thanksgiving. We thank God for our school, our parents, our kids, for myself, our brothers and sisters, and the food we have on our plate all the time. Just everything that we take for granted. Pray for world peace. Amen. We're just going to do one calculator question. It's going to be d, y equals negative 6x subtract 10. So go ahead and go to page 27. And the first thing we're going to do is sketch. So hit your y equals button. There's something there. Press clear. And for negative 6x, I press negative, not subtract 6. X is beside the alpha. Subtract 10, and then graph. I am not on the right window, so I'm going to press zoom 6. Okay, zoom 6 is how you reset your window. So if you go to negative 2022, you press zoom 6, and it goes back to negative 10, 10, 1. Okay, so it goes back to negative 10 to 0, and it goes up by 1. So 1, 1 out of 10, I think is that. What I said. So now we got to sketch this graph, and this one I'm going to put there and there, and then just draw a line. So back here, I can't really remember. I'll try to remember. Oh, never had this happen before. I think it was here and here. And again, I'll do my best. It's pretty hard to, actually that's pretty good to sketch that. It's going to be easier if I can see my calculator at the same time. And there's labeling it. And then for the x-intercept, we do the green one. We go second calculate 0, left and right. And for the purple one, the y-intercept, we go second calculate value. That's the easy one. That's the one we're going to do now. So there it is. So second calculate, which is your trace button, value, and then you have to just enter x equals 0, like any y-intercept. X equals 0, that's the point, 0, negative 10. 0, negative 10. And then the green one, the x-intercept, let me show you quick, is second calculate 0, then you go left of the x-intercept and then the right of the x-intercept. So let's go ahead and do that guy. So we go second calculate, and then x-intercepts are known as zeros of the function. Now I'm going to go left of it, so I have to know that my x-intercept is right here where the white arrow is. And I've got to move above it, because above it is left. Anywhere there, press enter. Oops. Second, calculate 0. So press enter. And then I gotta go right of it, so I gotta go below it to get to the right of that x-intercept. When I see that, this is the interval that the calculator is evaluating for an x-intercept. When it says guess, you just press enter. So that's negative 1.66 repeating. Which is negative 1 2/3. And if you don't know that decimal 666 is 2/3, here's another way of doing it. On your calculator, you can just punch it in negative 1.66666, or you can just quit, second quit, that's how you get out your graph, second quit. And then if you press X and equals, that gives you the x-intercept. Now math fraction equals -5/3, which is -1 2/3. Either one is fine. Make sure you know how to do it if it's multiple choice. There's how many threes? Fives are how many threes are in 5? 1. How many left over? 2. Keep the same denominator. And you're good. Okay, guys, we're on page 29 now. So I'll get to page 29 and highlight this doozy. Definition of function. Every x has exactly 1 y. Not the other way around. Every x has 1 y. And we're going to start with the vertical line test. And it's easier to show you this as opposed to tell you this. But if I was to tell you this, you draw vertical lines all over the graph, every possible vertical line. And if it only hits the graph once, it's a function. However, if the answer is no, and this is your graph, this vertical line hits it more than once, then this x, 5 and 3 and 5 and -4 does not have exactly 1 y, it has 2 y's. And it's not a function. So let's go to the textbook. I'll have to email you that. Bring your textbook, and I'm going to go to a blank piece of paper, and I'll be on page 290. So let's go ahead and do that. Page 290. Well, I think I still need this as well. And we're going to go to 1A and B. And I don't think I want to use that mouse. Okay, so page 290 in the text. And 1A and B. Question is it a function? So yes, it's a function if your vertical lines only hit the graph once, no if you hit it more than once. And 1A is something like this, and then it's got 3 dots right on top of each other, and then 2 dots right here. But if you draw a line, you can connect those 3 dots, and so the vertical line does not hit the graph just once, so it's not a function. So not a function. I was going to put x, but I'll go like this. My abbreviation for function is F'(n). And sorry, I should start with the x. Not a function. B, this is what you're looking at. And if you draw any vertical line, you can only hit one ordered pair, so it is a function. Okay, so now I'm going to see if you can check your understanding 1A and B. And if you don't have it, actually, you know what? Don't go to your textbook because it may give you the answer. So tell me if this is a function, yes or no. And this one is. And just keep your answers to yourself for now. We'll give you 1 minute to do that. Okay, so the question you ask, if you draw a vertical line anywhere, can you hit more than one point? Sorry, that's kind of the reverse question you ask. The question you ask is, can it only hit the graph once? Because if you ask the other way, then it kind of gets to be a reverse psychology type thing. So, can you hit the graph once? Yes, it's a function. No, more than once. Any line more than once, not a function. So this is, yes, a function. And B, you got, I think, 3 different places. Sorry for missing them, but you can hit, so no, you can hit it more than once, so it's not a function. Okay, I'll let you go to page 294 in your textbook now. And if you don't have your book, just take a picture of it. Maybe Mrs. Jones, you can get a book. Hopefully it's one by my desk. Or you can just take a picture of someone's book who's beside you. So go ahead and do number 6, 7, and 8 on page 294, please. Maybe that's correct. 6 and 7 first, so give you 4 minutes, and maybe you have to write it down as well. Let's give you 5 minutes to do 6 and 7. Make sure you're on the right track. Okay, I'm going to use V as violet as the vertical line. And can we only hit the graph once with a vertical line anywhere? And yes, we can only hit it once, so yes, it is a function. Here, there's only one vertical line that counts, and this graph is vertical, and if you draw a vertical line right on it, you hit this graph infinite amount of times, so no, that's not a function. Here, you can only hit it once, so yes, it's a function. I think you're getting the hang of it now. Yes, it's a function. You can only hit it once. You can only hit it once. And you can only hit it once. Yay. I like saying yes. Okay. Track those, see how you did, and try 8. I'll give you 3 minutes to do all of 8. Pause, please. Okay, so to 8 we go. And can I only hit this once with the vertical line? Yes, it's a function. Right here, again, that's a vertical line that hits it infinite amount of times. There's one vertical line, but that's enough to make it not a function, okay? I could draw a vertical line right there that hits 2 dots. So this x equals 7 has 2, this x has 2 y's, 7, 2, and 7, 4, let's say. So no, it's a function, every x has exactly 1 y. Yes, look at that, how I saved it. And this one is no. I can draw a vertical line that hits the graph twice, so no, thank you. Okay, now you're becoming an expert. You could go ahead and do page 30. I'll let you choose whatever group you want to be in, but we're all joining forces on this one. Okay, we're going to fight for the good of mankind. On page 30, top page 30, do 3 of the 4, and we will join Luke Skywalker with Harry Potter, with Iron Man, and do 3 of those 4 on the top of the page. Just the question is it a function? Yes or no? I will wait for not too long. Okay, so hopefully you can see fairly quickly now whether it's a function or not using the vertical line test. Whoa, that is the worst vertical line known to mankind. No one saw that. There's one, there's two. Okay, so yes, we hit the graph once and only once. Yes, we hit the graph once and only once. No, we hit the graph 2 times on many vertical lines here, so no, not a function. Similarly, you know what I mean? Oh, somewhere in between there. No, you can hit the graph here and here with the vertical line, so it's not a function. Okay, so that's one type of is it a function question. And look at definition of function is very important. Does every x have exactly one y? How do you do the ordered pair over what? Well, first of all, I think they should be together. Except for if it's vertical line tests, I'll let you guys do that once. Give you a bit of time. For the ordered pairs, you just look at the x's. Okay, these are all the x's, so you just look to see if they're all different. If they're all different, then it's a function. If they're not different, 6, 7, and 6, 8, well, it's an x that has 2 y's, so not a function. Because you can only have one different x. Okay, they cannot repeat. So 3, 2, 4, -3, that's good. If any of those numbers were the same, no. And again, it's just the x's that can only have one y. Just look at the x's. Just look at the x's. So yes, that's a function. Now this one's interesting. It's a tricky one, and you don't want to guess on this. But in C, this x has one y. This b has one y. This c has one y. Even though this is the same, they still only have one y each, so yes, this is a function. This a could not go to 2 y's, then it would not be a function. So you can't do that. But in this case, it kind of looks like it isn't a function, but it is. Not sure why it's not. Go back to the mouse. Click, click. There we go. So that is a function. Let's go to, well, you guys are on your own now. Go ahead and do DFG real quick using the vertical line test. I'll give you not much more than a minute to do that. Sorry for screaming. So go ahead and correct those. And we'll go to the top of the next page, which is just like doing a table of values. It's just written in a different format. In fact, that's what you can write down on the top of page 31, just like a table of values. Okay, I guess I'll stick with Violet. Just like a table of values. So when you have, it sounds like a weird question, but all they're asking you to do is sub these numbers into the formula. The formula is 3x plus 1. So we've already done that. This is exactly what it's asking. In fact, you can even write this down if it helps you. We're finding the y's. So when x equals -1, the first one here, so the formula is 3x plus 1. And when x equals -1, then you punch it into your calculator, and you get -2. So the -1 goes to -2. And then you do that for 0. I'm only going to do it for one more. 3 times 0 plus 1 gives you 1. I guess I lied. When you do it for 1, you get 3 times 1 plus 1. That's 4. So 1 goes to 4. And 2, 3 times 2 plus 1 is 7. So 2 computes to 7. The elements of the range, what's the blue numbers in A? So -2, 1, 4, 7. Sorry, the outputs, I should say, the y's, not these blue x's. And it's an arrow diagram. This is what an arrow diagram is. The x's go here, -1, 0, 1, 2. And they point to the y's, -2, 1, 4, 7. You're, of course, writing this as I am. Set of ordered pairs, well, that's what we know. So -1, -2. Now I'm over here, 1. I go to my second, 0, x, and 1. And 1 and 2. So these black numbers here are my x's. And the y's is what I get over here as an output. So -2, these ones, -2, 1, 4, 7. Those are my ordered pairs. How do you graph them? Well, you graph them just like you would -1, -2, 0, 1 up, 1, 4 up, just approximately, and then 2, 7 up, something like that. And you would connect the dots because this is a line. As you know, and you can check that with your graphing calculator, and you write down f of x. Oops, no brackets. Usually it's brackets. So I'm going to show you right now this f colon x is the same thing as f of x in brackets. You're going to see that most of the time. So it's worth just putting that now. It's the exact same thing. F of x equals 3x plus 1. How about that? Super duper fun. Okay, so you have one like that, and you can go to it first if you want to on page 32, top of page 32. Or you can start with number 3 on the bottom of page 31, but right now go ahead and do bottom of page 31. Just say yes or no, whether it's a function or not. And top of page 32, and we'll give you 7 minutes to do that. Please pause. All right, that's correctamundo. Okay, for 3a, is it a function? You just look at the x's. If they're all different, yes, it's a function. But they're just, but no. You don't care about the y's. It just says every x have one y. They can have the same y. I know, it's hard to deal with. Get over it. As long as all the x's are different, it's a function. This x has one y. This x has one y, this x has one y, and this x has one y. But they're the same y. Who cares? It's okay. As long as every x has one y, you're good, and it's a function. Okay, as long as these are different, it's a function. It's so hard to look at these and say, well, no, not a function. If these were the x's, then it wouldn't be a function, but the x's have exactly one y. They're all exactly the same y, but that's okay. Every x still has one y, and that's cool. So cool. Vertical line test, yes, it's a function. This one, no, it's not a function. This one, a little more evaluation, but looks good. Yes, it's a function. And this one, oh, Snako says no, not a function. And next page. Turn to the next page, please, JL. Okay. Thank you, JL. You're welcome, JL. Okay, we just did a question like this. I'm getting sick of purple. Let's black is kind of boring too. Should we try yellow? Oh, yeah, that would work. Actually, it doesn't look bad. Let's try yellow. Sweet. I thought it would be, although it might not look so good for you. Let's do one in yellow. So we're going to, again, we can see this as a table of values where the x's are, the inputs are 0, 1, 2, 3. If we sub in 0 for the x, you get 2 times 0. 2 times 0 plus 5, which equals 5. And then this is 2 times 1. Holy, that looks bright. That equals 7. This is 2 times 2. 9er. And you know, this is going to be 11. 2 times 3 plus 5. So there's our ordered pair 0, 5, 1, 7, 2, 9, 3, 11, 7, 11, yum yum. So the range elements are the y's. What's the outputs? So 5, 7, 9, 11. Show it on the graph. I don't want to. Let's just show it as ordered pairs. Okay, so show as ordered pairs. Sorry, Cartesian. Descartes. So 0, 5. Just looking at the table values 1, 7, 2, 9. There we go. Okay, homework time it is. Yeah, questions 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11. Sounds like about take 22 minutes? No, take 15 minutes. So get into trouble in the first period. Take 15 minutes, and we'll just have one more thing to do after that. You can please pause. So you're going on the same page to page 32, 33, and top page 34. Talk to you in a bit. Okay, just one more thing. Go to page 34, and I will ask you, what does a pike, that's my favorite fish ever to catch, what does a pike perform at their Christmas concert? We wish you a Merry Fishmas, we wish you a Merry Fishmas. Wish you a Merry Fishmas and a Happy New Deer, because they want them to hunt for deer as opposed to fish. Okay, this has been misplaced. That's as my humor has as well. This quest, I just want to reaffirm that you know that it's only the quest on Wednesday is page 1 to 25. Okay, so after 25, that's it. That's what's on the quest. used to have it here, but it was too much to know, so we made it easier for you. Questions on page 121 to 25, and when I said easy, make sure you study. It's easy if you study. Right now it's on Wednesday. I think the plan is on Wednesday to have 15 minutes at the beginning of class to ask me any questions, to study for 15 minutes. You should have studied much longer than that before you come on Wednesday. You know how it works, and hope you get a fantastic mark on this unit, starting with this quest. Okay, we want to go to function notation on part 1, and this is called function notation, f of x. It's not called f times x or f bracket x, it's called f of x, so there it is. That's how we say it. And if you see this symbol, it's the same as this symbol. We'll see this many more times. So this is about 48% of the time, this is about 50% of the time, and this is 2% of the time. So I'm not going to focus too much on that, but it's not that hard to figure out. Just put brackets around the x and it means f of x. But you need to know that y means f of x. Okay, they're both, it's y's nickname is f of x. Hey, y, hey, f of x, how's it going? Good, me too. Can't think of a joke real quick, so I won't. But it's the same thing. Okay, you need to know that even though this has an x in it, it's y, not x. Okay, it's a function of x. So whenever you have y equals 2 with x plus 3, or y equals x squared plus 5, y is a function of x. Okay, so this is your y. And we've already talked about that already. So I want to go to the next page and do the first 3 questions, and then do the last 2. And we're done. We'll pick up with 1DE tomorrow morning. And you'll also have a quest review as well tomorrow. So you should be well prepared for the quest on Wednesday. Here is, usually you're going to have one function. This question starts off with 2. Okay, so if you see an f, you use the f function. If you see a g, you use the g function. And it's just like a table of values, except for instead of having a table of values, well, let's go red first. Instead of having this, you have this. And why does x equal 3? Well, because this is in the form f of x. So that this means x equals 3. F of 3 means you substitute wherever you see an x, 3, and calculate. Very similar to the table of values. So x squared becomes 3 squared. And then you just calculate that. 9 plus 5 is 14. And that's it. There's no graph or anything. It's just f of 3 equals 14. You're done. Okay, for the G1, you're going to use the formula 4 subtract x. So wherever you see a 1, you put it in for x. So 4 subtract x means 4 subtract 1. And you're done. Make sure you put negative signs in brackets. So x squared plus 5, and if you don't put it in brackets, you're going to get it wrong. X squared means negative 2 squared in brackets. Negative 2 squared plus 5 equals the best number in the whole wide world. Let's write down brackets here. Very important. Go ahead and do D and E, please. Most of the time, there's only one function. You don't even have to worry about another. All right, I'll give you 3 minutes to do that. Yeah, maybe we'll just finish it. No, that's a good review to start. Next section, or whenever we do this again. So let's leave this with you. You have the rest of the class to do these 2 questions, D and E, and your homework on page 32, 33, and 34. If you've done that, you can go right ahead and work on anything you want to, or just study your pages 1 to 25 for the quest. God bless. Have an awesome day. Ha, ha, ha. Merry Fishmas.